Alrighty, hello everybody. I think I'm live. Alright. So yeah, um, when was the last time I did one? Saturday, wasn't it? And it was, or was it Friday night? Doesn't matter. I was talking about Sunderland and Super Saturday because it was going to be the playoffs, and for once, we didn't bottle it, and it really did turn out to be a Super Saturday for Sunderland because yeah, they won. They won the game, and so we're going up to the championship now. For anybody who's into football, it's kind of weird that I'm even talking about this because I'm not really into football myself, pretty much, to be honest. But it was good for the city. It was good for the town. You know, everybody was in a good mood. People were happy. Um, what I did have was a party on the night. Some of my wife's family, um, her cousin's daughter got married abroad, and then so they created like a video of it all. So we could have like what they called a watch party. So everyone got together, had a few drinks, watched some bits of footage from the wedding and stuff. The people that couldn't make it out there. So that was kind of cool. That was nice. It was my first time. If anybody was watching before, they know it was my first time trying Uber. Now getting out was great, worked well. It told you how many minutes the driver's on his way. You could see him come in. It was great. We got the Uber, got there. That was fine. So I was like, yeah, I was able to have a drink. I was able to have a beer, a nice one, there with the family. But it didn't go very well on the way back because, um, unfortunately, I think most of Sunderland were out celebrating, probably having a good drink because of the football and the football result. And so when the place was starting to close up and they wanted us out of the place, Uber just wouldn't connect to anything. There's nothing available. The local taxi services, nothing. We were going to be stranded with my two kids in the middle of a part of town, quite a bit away from where we live. Um, Thankfully, Fiona's family members are really, really nice. The dad of the person who got married, he was driving. He wasn't drinking. He was driving. So um, he kindly took us to a place nearby where we knew where we could stay for a few minutes in an actual house until we could get an Uber connection. Obviously, our house was a bit too far away. It would have been really inconvenient for them to have to drop us off and then go all the way back. But nearer to where the party was, we knew a place we could just go temporarily to, and then thankfully, actually from there, Uber managed to connect us up with a driver, no worries. So that was fine. Um, I've since found out it can be a bit hit and miss. I think apparently it's usually fine, but yeah, I think it's just the bad timing for us. The fact that it was that time of night on a Saturday when the people were out in the city celebrating, so there weren't many Ubers available. So yeah, this is why I usually drive everywhere. I usually just don't bother having a drink at all. I'll be like, oh, I'll drive. I'll just have coffee, whatever. Um, but yeah, but no, it was a nice night. It was a good night, and I'm really grateful to that family member that bailed us out when we were stranded, basically, and helped drive us a few minutes away to where we could stop with somebody until we could get an Uber. Um, so yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. In fact, I've just paused it because they're still ongoing at the moment. I think they've probably got about another half an hour left or something. I'm not entirely sure how long the court. About half an hour or so. So far, it seems to be Amber Heard's team today burning through loads of their time just on really rubbish witnesses. The cross-examination of which has been pretty brutal at times. I haven't caught all of it, but I've caught up with some of the stuff. If anybody has got any questions, pop them in the chat. Trying to think if there was anything new. What have I been up to? I'll bring up a web page and have a little look at the news headlines and see what's going on. So, news. Like I say, today I haven't prepared any sort of particular topics or anything. I know the Davos thing is going on right now. It was the first day, I think. Well, I think they met on Sunday, but I think it's the first day proper of all the stuff they're talking about. I think I noticed on the list of things they were going to talk about the future of digital currency. I don't like that with that said neither, because that'll me personally, the way I see it going, I think will eventually be like global, and so I think there'll be lots of sort of control and compliance things to do with that. Once they've got you on that, they've got full control over you. But yeah, let me just steer clear of that for the moment. Just bring up the news headlines. See if I can put it on screen for you as well. There we go. So, are they still going on about Partygate? Really? PM pictured drinking at Downing Street party during lockdown. Yeah, this is. Yeah, okay, don't care. I don't know much about Henry Kissinger. I'll skip over that one. Oh, good grief. All these horrible things. I should steer clear of the news, shouldn't I? Dominic Cummings claims photos will prove Boris Johnson lied over Partygate. Does it matter? Hasn't he already been fined? I mean, if he's been fined, then it shows he was breaking the rules anyway, you know? See, the difference being, do you remember when Keir Starmer was daft enough to say, sorry, hang on, I'll just clear my throat. Starmer was daft enough to say, you know, when he was pointing a finger, that if such a thing sort of happened to him, that he would step down. Right, but the only thing is, like, a fine for something is, it's like getting a speeding fine. Yes, you've broken a rule. Yes, you have to pay a fine. But it's not a, what to say. It wouldn't affect, say, somebody's job necessarily, unless they were a professional driver or something to do with driving. So, let's say a lawyer, for example. Yeah, the lawyer gets a speeding fine. It's not going to affect his career at all. An actor gets a speeding fine. Not going to affect their career. Somebody who works at a supermarket gets a speeding fine. It's not going to make any difference, is it, whatsoever, to their life, really, apart from obviously costing some money. And so, again, a prime minister. There are other arguments to do with the fact that it was their own rules that they were breaking. Fair enough, but like, effectively gets a fine. Okay, pays it. Does it mean they should resign? Don't know. That's up for debate, isn't it? Because, like I say, does it mean that if any MP gets a speeding fine, they should resign? No, not really. But Starmer made this daft rod for his own back by sort of, I think, trying to sort of virtue signal, as if saying, I'm better than I wouldn't do that. If that happened to me, I would resign. And then the dumbass, because he did do that. Well, allegedly. But there's photos, isn't there, and stuff. You know, that. I mean, this is why I was shouting at the telly back before all the media thing about Starmer, and it was all the Prime Minister's questions and him pointing the finger. It seemed like for ages. I felt like I was the only one shouting at the telly. Like, does he not realise he's a hypocrite? Everybody will eventually see this, surely. Please, people, bring it up. And thankfully, they did bring it up that he was being a complete hypocrite. But what I find funny is that obviously if they end up finding him eventually, will he stick to his word and resign? See, Boris made no such promise, did he? You know, some people might think it's bad that Boris hasn't resigned, but he didn't say he was going to. He didn't say, oh yeah, if I get fined, I'll step down. I don't think he was daft enough to say such a thing, but Starmer was. But yeah, they're all awful. I think whichever one's in there, I think both of them would still sign us up to this thing that's going on this week, the World Economic Forum and all that sort of stuff. It's like a kind of a meme or a picture. Have you ever seen that one where it's like it's called the illusion of choice, and it's like the two different doors. So for us in the UK, it would be, say, like Conservative or Labour, two different doors, and then you sort of go beyond them, and there's like these walls, a bit like a maze going for a tunnel, but they both arrive at the same place, and it's called the illusion of choice. So, like, it didn't really matter which door you picked, you're going to end up at the same place. And the cynical side of me kind of has that sort of opinion in terms of where the world is heading politically, you know. We're given this illusion of choice, but there are certain things I think that are going to happen, and it's just a case of how quickly or how slowly we get there. But I think we'll eventually get there, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe more on that on another day. So let me see. That was Dominic Cummings. Sent me off a bit of a ramble there, didn't he? I do sort of ramble on a little bit. PM picture drinking. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know. It's because the Sue Gray thing has the report came out all about it. I don't know if she was doing the investigation. I'm really not interested, I'll be honest. Ainsley Harriet thanks rescuers who helped sister after she fell into the Chelsea flower show pond. I shouldn't laugh because I don't know how serious it was, but just the headline sounds hilarious. Oh, come on, the cookies, get off. No, I do not want to subscribe to your whatever this is. That's like a puddle. You call that a pond? Wow, okay. So she's gotten some wet feet, bit of a wet leg. Okay. But yeah, okay, fair play. Thanks to the people that helped her up. Bless her. Watch where you're going, love. Watch where you're going. There's a hole there. Somebody put a hole there. Oh no, I see. It does look a bit bigger in this picture. It is. I suppose you could call it a pond. Just that original picture was really tiny. I was like, it looks like a bit like a crack in the pavement. But okay. Okay, well, that's a bit more of a light-hearted news story, I suppose. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it news, but it's just okay, fair enough. Ooh, see, that depressing thing after man dies after dog attack in Wrexham. 62-year-old. That is rare for a bloke, full-grown bloke at that age, to die after being bitten by a dog. That must have been pretty savage, because usually you can fight a dog off, sufficiently to survive. So that sounds pretty nasty. Must have been a very strong dog. What else we got? Okay, yeah. So they've sentenced that Russian soldier to life in prison. Have they? That was kind of inevitable, I suppose. Although I think I'd heard that they might have been. No, I'll not get into it. I don't know enough about the particular case. But there are certain protocols about how prisoners of war are supposed to be tried, and I think they kind of just bypassed all that. I had heard about this about Biden. Apparently, I've not seen the words out of his mouth yet. I've not seen the footage, but apparently saying that he will vow to defend Taiwan if China invades. Will he though? Will he though? Has he really got the balls to? If Afghanistan's anything to go by, I doubt it. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I have kept my eye on that one a little bit. Oh, actually, on the subject of China, I was talking a little while back about the Three Gorges Dam and how they hadn't drained the levels down to where they usually do before the wet season, and it was like, is something broken there, is something wrong? What's going to happen with that? They have actually brought the level down quite a lot now, so I don't think they've actually used any of the sluice gates. So I don't know if they have got an issue with those. I presume they're okay, but they've just sort of used the output of the turbines. They cranked that right up, and they managed to get the water level down quite a lot. So I think they'll be safe for this year. It would have to be some kind of really unprecedented or really severe year, like I think 2020. I think 2020 was the last one that was really, really heavy rains and caused them nearly an issue. I don't see that happening this year. I think it'll be normal. So I think that thankfully will be fine for the people. But yeah, they keep flying about near Taiwan, don't they? And people speculating about whether they will eventually attack. Anything can happen in 2022. I've got a theory that things are just kind of going to ramp up over the next few years, but we'll see. I might be wrong. It might be wrong. Let me just see what's going on with the YouTube here. Nope, no one in the chat. Nope, okay, I'll carry on. So, what do we got? HSBC banker who criticised climate in quotes nut jobs was right about a lot of things. Yep, sounds like he's pretty switched on, because don't get me started on the whole climate thing. Yeah, he'll get me on a rant about real science and stuff to do with climate changing and changing hundreds of years before other things. You don't want to get me started on that one. It's such a complex thing as well that the media just give you like a simple overview, like, oh, this is happening, this bad, this causes this. It's like, no, there are many factors. The Earth is very complex with lots of different things to do with oceans and currents and wind patterns and and CO2 in and out in the sea, volcanoes. It's just so much more complex than the media will try and tell you. And they'll be like, oh, but 97% of scientists agree. It's like, no, a large percentage of scientists that you've paid to do a study to come to the conclusion you want agree, and even then some of them disagreed and had to fight to say, hang on, no, I said no, I'm inconclusive, but you've still put me on the side of agreeing. Yeah, don't don't get me started on that. I tell you. But yes, I think in 100 years the sea level won't be much different, to be honest. That's my opinion. If it was really as bad as they were all saying, why are all the rich and powerful buying all these beachfront houses that are like right on the ocean? It's like, if they really believe their own nonsense, then it'd be like, then effectively they're buying something that's going to be underwater shortly. It's just, yeah, don't get me started. Right, what else is going on? Households can apply for a free, nothing's ever free, free £6,000 grant from today as cost of living crisis continues to bite. So what they say by free is they mean our tax money, some of it coming back to us. That's what they mean. It's not free, right? I don't know anything about Elden Ring. I don't do any sort of gaming stuff. What we got here? I think this is all about gaming stuff and technology. Former Xbox executive says he's scared of Game Pass's potential impact. No idea what that means. And I'd heard this. Kate Moss, it says will appear. I don't know if she will, but I've heard that she might appear as a witness, or maybe on Wednesday. I think it's because Amber opened the door to that. I think because she was sort of saying something about Johnny throwing Kate Moss down the stairs. Now, because she's brought that in, that's kind of opened the door maybe to them being able to call Kate Moss as a witness to say, well, she's said this thing. Did that actually happen? Tell us your version of events. Whether Kate Moss will appear, I don't know. I really hope she does. I really hope she gives a completely contradictory story to Heard and just BTFOs her thing. That would be funny, but we'll see. I think a lot of this stuff is clickbait, although I've heard it from a couple of sources, so maybe Kate Moss will appear. That would be interesting. I really hope that happens. That would be entertaining to see what she has to say, because there's this alleged story about him throwing her down the stairs, but yeah, I doubt that, but you never know. She might come and say that, or she might come and say it's nonsense, and Amber's talking out of her, you know what. We shall see. Stuff about Ainsley Harriott again. Football. Again, I don't know much, but I know that Sunderland won. Whee! That was good fun. Tennis. Not really interested in that. Apologies if you like tennis, I'm not really into it. I did manage to catch up with the Formula 1 from the other day. That seemed a pretty good one. Again, I love the team radios because Verstappen ended up going off the track into the gravel a bit and then sort of recovered. I mean, I don't know, that could have done some damage to the underside, I don't know, but then he was complaining about they had an issue with the DRS drag reduction system where the flap at the back sort of opens up to give them extra speed. In certain circumstances that's eligible for certain parts of the track, and it wasn't working properly. So, some laps it was working, sometimes it wasn't, and it gives you like a bit of a speed advantage when it's working. And so he was ranting and raving a bit on his on the team radio, and it's always quite funny. And then later in the race, when they were trying to update him about that or tell him about something, he was concentrating on his race and he was going like, I don't give a about that right now, sort of thing. It was quite funny, but he eventually, fair play to him, chipped away and managed to race his way back there. He's and it seems that the Mercedes woes with the car are definitely on the up, because despite Hamilton ended up getting a puncture in the first lap, I think it was, somebody tagged him a bit and his wheel punctured, so it cost him loads of time. He was right at the back of the field, had to go around to the pits, and he wasn't far into the racetrack when it happened, so it took a while for him to get round. Slow stop as well, trying to get the new tyre on. Chipped away, and I think, I forget where he ended up, but I think it was somewhere high up, like 6th or something, getting points or whatever. So that obviously shows that they've sorted that car out a bit, so he might come into it a little bit more in the mix. Again, thankfully, points-wise, quite far behind, because I'm not really fussed up for seeing him get the championship. Yeah, I don't know. I'm liking seeing other people mix it up a little bit. So, but he's sort of battling with them. It could be interesting and fun to watch. Yeah, let me know your thoughts if you watch Formula 1, if you have any thoughts on that. Right, now I've got an issue with these kind of headlines, right? This one says, huge asteroid twice the size of the Burj Khalifa will pass Earth on Friday. And sometimes they say will skim by or gets close, and you look at it and it's like, it's not really close, is it? It's like usually the distance between the Earth and the Moon, I forget the astronomical unit they usually used to describe it, but it's usually like maybe 3 or 4 of those away, which is really, really far. You know, it goes past and they're going, oh, it's getting close. Like, no. The one that will get close is Apophis, which in 2020, was it 2027 or 2029? Oh man, when is it coming? When is that one coming? That is going to get so close that it could take out satellites, and there were some people that were saying that they actually think that it might strike and do a fair bit of damage, and other people saying, oh no, they revised it and they think they definitely know it's going to miss, but it's going to come, you know, obviously between us and the Moon, and sort of into sort of even the orbit, low Earth orbit, sort of where satellites are and stuff. But they still say, oh, it'll miss us. But there's other people saying, actually, within the margin of error, that it could. Oh, what year is it? Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. Actually, I'm just gonna grab my phone here while I'm doing it. Why is 2029 in my head? Actually, what am I doing? I've got Google right here. Boomer moment there, right? So Google. So Apophis 2029. Yeah, there we go. It's coming up. That's when it's going to be the close orbit. So that one, obviously, as it gets nearer the date, we'll know a bit more for sure. So this is their latest projection, is it? Can you see that image there? It's the satellites around and sort of gets close, but that wasn't the original projection. I think it was even closer. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Now that's the one to talk about. But that other headline, what we were talking about, the bird one that they said was twice the size of the Burj Khalifa. Yeah, I bet if I looked at that article, it would actually be nowhere near. And there was usually clickbait again, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, I have got some stuff to do. It is a Monday night, and I have been waffling on to you for over 20 minutes. So I am going to say good night. Have a great rest of the Monday night, everybody. I'll catch you on another live stream. So have a good one. Bye.